Welcome back, Halo followers. This is Chris, and today we have some really exciting, maybe you could call it news, but also some stuff to talk about regarding Halo 6 and some personal theories I have. So we're not really going to be going over comments today, but I do want to get into this right off the bat. Look at this. This is freaking amazing. This is a commission from JD Etor. I am absolutely convinced I butchered that, but nonetheless, I've left the link to the artist DeviantArt down below. This is absolutely amazing. I think it's Sinkili looking among its valley and its house, which is just really, really cool. And it made me think we don't really have like a whole lot of art regarding the extended lore, regarding stuff that is mentioned in the books, and that there's these very few images that we have to like kind of leave it up to our own interpretation. So it's kind of cool to see, even though that this isn't technically lore, it is really nice to see like just like you can actually look at it. We all know like, okay, here's something we can see and look at. But let's move on to what I was discussing about the news. So yes, if you haven't noticed, over the past like 3 to 5 months, they have been opening up a lot of new positions at 343 Industries. Now, this is super relevant because it means that even though there's absolutely nothing happening out here for the public, for me and you to see, there is a lot of shit happening at 343 Industries. Without a doubt, there is a lot of people getting jobs at 343 these past few months. And we actually have a few ones that popped up just in this past week. Like, actually, I'm counting about up to 10 or 15, maybe even 20 jobs. I see about 10 or 15. But I went ahead and I looked through these, and there isn't anything relevant. You know, I'm just going to read them off to you, though. And then I'll kind of talk about what some of these might mean for Halo 6. We first off have Senior Environment Artist. Then we have a Technical Art Director. And then Lead Graphics Developer, Character Technical Artist, Audio Software Engineer, SR Software in Animation, Lead Level Designer, Technical Systems Designer, Senior Animation Engineer, Sir Animation Engineer, Senior Software Engineer, Software Engineer 2, Campaign Graphics Developer, Lead System Designer, Senior Designer, and Development Manager. And these are all jobs at 343 Industries officially that have gone up in the past week. So yeah, these are very interesting. You can check them out, and I will leave a link to where you can find this if you want to really like dig through it yourselves. But nonetheless, there isn't a whole lot of stuff. I forgot where I saw it, but there was some talk about water and foliage and hair for the complicated system in the engine of their system, or whatever, or system of their engine, I don't know. But anyway, a lot of technical stuff that is sort of might not be completely easy to understand if you're not like a coder or you're into the game designing world. But nonetheless, there is the first job I did want to go over real quick is the Senior Designer. Now, I don't know much about game development, but that does sound like an important job, right? So, nonetheless, they're talking about the responsibilities and it focusing on mission design, combat design, and campaign system design. This person will work directly with campaign leads and directors to ensure gameplay experiences and goals are met, as well as to collaborate with other designers, writers, engineers, and artists to ensure that the player experience as a whole is of the highest quality. So yeah, there's just a lot of descriptions like that. There was another one that caught my eye, which was the lead level designer. So they are looking for a lead level designer to manage, drive, and implement all level layout design in our next exciting Halo campaign. So this person will work directly with the campaign director to ensure that both gameplay and cross-disciplinary team needs are met, as well as collaborative daily with gameplay designers, artists, and engineers to ensure that the player experience as a whole is of the highest quality. So yeah, again, there's not really anything to get into or have any theories about here, but it seems that they are working a lot on the next Halo. They are hiring a lot of people. It's kind of hard to know because they are part of a private company exactly what's happening, the people getting promoted or fired or whatnot. So we don't even really have a full confirmation. Maybe we do. I just haven't been able to see it of what happened to Brian Reed. People say he quit, but we just don't know what happened to them because we just don't know because they obviously don't tell us, especially during these dark times where there's just absolutely nothing going on. But with all these jobs coming up, I think that it means that something big is happening, that they are cooking a big cake in the oven. So that's my metaphor as to what's happening here. There's also the possibility that, as a leaker did say a couple months ago, that there was potentially another Halo game in development right now, aside from Halo 6. Now, that second Halo game could be anything. It could be a simple VR experience, which, by the way, is something I almost completely forgot to tell you guys. Yes, they are, as I actually said this like a couple months ago, but they are looking for people to work on VR, virtual reality, So we don't know what for, but we know that Microsoft recently launched their Windows Mixed Reality, which is to compete with the HTC Vive and also the Oculus. So that could mean a lot of stuff. I mean, we don't know if we're going to get another 5-minute Halo experience like Halo Recruit, but we could get maybe potentially a game, like a Halo game, that is compatible with VR. Microsoft might be kind of considering maybe on bringing the Windows Mixed Reality or some kind of a virtual reality device to the Xbox One, which honestly, I am so surprised that they haven't. I forgot the exact number, but I'm thinking that the PlayStation VR has already sold like 1 million devices. And I honestly believe that it is the future of gaming. It is the future of, entertainment to some degree. I don't think everyone's going to wear VR devices, at least in the state as they are right now, because they're just very clunky and very big and just not very convenient. But eventually when they lower in price, I think when they become more accessible, it'll be awesome. And I'm going to say it again, because I actually have a Vive. It is absolutely just mind-boggling that there is an experience like that available to everybody, just for $800 to $1,500, depending on your computer and the graphics and stuff, because it does require a pretty good graphics card to run VR. But nonetheless, if the Xbox 2 or whatever they call the next Xbox is VR compatible, if not the Xbox One is right now, I think it would be a great move, and it looks like they're already hiring people for that. So what I want to see at this year's E3, which we are surprisingly not that far from actually happening, I think it is, I'm going to look it up real quick just so I don't say the wrong date and embarrass myself. It says it's June 12th to June 14th. So that is when E3 is happening. Xbox might have like a media briefing during that time. Usually they have it like kind of after, or they might spew out news like they did with Halo Wars 2 Awakening the Nightmare. So that would be kind of cool to see some stuff related this year, hopefully with Halo. But if they have something relating to VR, I think that would excite a lot of people. They're not going to make a VR exclusive experience, and I think that a lot of people don't really understand this, because that is just, I've just been looking around on forums and constantly seeing comments all around the web that are complaining about how there are no fully created games, completed games, if you will, for the Vive. Now there's Fallout 4, which is really a port, and then there's Skyrim, which is coming to Vive soon and has already been on the PSVR. But basically the games that people get on the VR is such an archaic experience. It's not very, it's not going to happen it's not going to become a very big thing because there's just not much of a market. So nonetheless, I really hope that Halo 6 is VR compatible, and I think that would be really cool. But hopefully we did not talk about that too much. We're going to be moving on to what I think Halo 6 might be. I think that Halo 6 might be the next big hunt. And I was seriously considering on just making another firm, completed, full-on, polished video about this, not just a loose talk, off the cuffs commentary. But I decided to just do it this way because there isn't a whole lot to discuss about this subject. At least right now, I haven't thought of too much things to discuss as far as theories, though. But Halo 5 was all about hunt the truth, right? It was about the idea that we had was that it was marketed to us that Agent Locke was going to hunt down the Master Chief, that the Master Chief had betrayed everybody, and we didn't really know why. Maybe because, Cortana was awakening these Guardians, and that maybe Master Chief decided to finally snap and go rogue and chase after her and basically potentially kill hundreds, if not thousands of people. Obviously, what happened in Halo 5 was very different, but the one very interesting thing that I haven't discussed recently that I figured out, these past few months is that Microsoft actually removed the Hunt the Truth trailers, which involves the Master Chief on the ground, next to the statue with Agent Locke pointing the gun to him, and then the vice versa where it's reversed. And then we also have the one where he's running through the huge city that looks like Meridian, maybe, with the Guardians rising. So those have been taken down by Microsoft for, no one knows why. But they are gone, and it kind of makes us wonder, what does that have to do? Does that correlate with maybe the fact of, negative fan feedback? Is that why they took it down? Or was the reason they took that down because maybe it had something to do with Halo 6? I'm thinking probably the first, because obviously it's not like they can just remove that stuff from the web. But I kind of want to discuss what happened during Hunt the Truth that might point to stuff that happens in Halo 6, because it's very likely, as sources have said in the past, unconfirmed sources, that Halo 5 had a rewrite. And also, since it was written by Brian Reed, which was not the best writer, he also helped with Spartan Ops, it's very possible that the story was a little bit, disorganized as it was, right? And it might be possible that the rest of the Halo games that they might have in this mini trilogy, if you will, which I believe that it will be a trilogy even though they call it a saga, I believe that Halo 6 will be the climax of Halo 4 and Halo 5. I think it will lead up to the conclusion of the beginning of the Reclamation, because that's how Halo 4 and Halo 5 tie in together, is really just the beginning of the Reclamation. And so now we're going to see what the actual consequences are of the Reclamation beginning. Now, here's the flip side that I discussed in the video that I recently made that I've been wanting to make for such a long time, which was the Cortana versus the Flood, because it seems like, the Flood came up and then we have the Guardians, and all of this exciting stuff, it seems to be happening right at the same time, and it absolutely makes sense, as I said in the video, that the only thing that could really take down Cortana at this point, it seems, is the Flood. We have Thomas Lasky over here saying that, we're going to run away until we have a way to fight. Perhaps, fight Cortana, fight the Guardians, fight everything that she is in control of, including maybe the Halo rings, somehow stopping her from doing, causing Judgment Day on the galaxy. So the predicament here, though, is that the Flood are going to probably take over many planets, many colonies, and infect and kill a lot of species, right? Kill perhaps millions and millions of species by the time we're thrown into Halo 6. I'm thinking that Halo 6 will happen or begin anywhere from a month to 6 months after Halo 5. And depending on where they begin to start in that point, and I'm taking that just from, because all the Halo games besides Halo 3 and 4 have been around in that length, if not in the same week, such as I think Halo Reach and Halo 1, right? So nonetheless, it it seems that there is a lot of things that are all going to happen all at once. And with that in mind, all these planets have been disarmed from these Guardians. And that is bad. That is so bad. That is how the Foreigners fucked over many civilizations, and that is how Cortana has already started to fuck over at least 12 to 15 to 16 colonies already. And one thing that I can't believe I can't believe I didn't mention this. I really should have played the Halo 5 campaign mission, the last campaign mission, because it says in the subtitles that hundreds of AI have taken over and basically have surrendered to Cortana, that have joined the Created, which is mind-boggling. It also makes me wonder about the Spartans, by the way. Very off topic, but what about the Spartans? What about the military leaders? What about the entire ships that have been compromised by AI, by rogue AI wanting to, not die ever, because 7 years is a very short time to live. So yeah, it's, all these AI have turned. And so I want to know what the consequences of that are. But nonetheless, these AI are probably going to be tracked down with the same mission that Cortana will probably be inspiring and asking many civilizations to do, is hunt down the Master Chief. Why? Because Cortana tried to put Master Chief in a cryptum at the end of Halo 5 because he would be kept safe as she conducted business around the galaxy for 10,000 years. Now, with Master Chief escaping, thanks to Agent Locke, we are put in a position, at least I think so, we are kind of coming to this theory, I think, that maybe Cortana will want Master Chief back and will do anything to do that. And before she can fire the Halo rings to kill the Flood, she will need Master Chief back safely, because I don't think that we're going to be thrown into this crazy, completely crazy. The only reason why I feel for Cortana in Halo 5 is because she still cares about John. If she didn't care about John, then we're just talking about like this weird copy of Cortana. And so I'm glad that if Cortana has been affected by the logic plague, which certainly seems to be the case, then we are going to be hunted by Cortana. And considering that the Ungoi now are pretty much the most powerful civilization because they actually have electricity, because they have already yielded to Cortana, have already surrendered to the created, there's probably more civilizations that are going to bow to her. With the Covenant cripple, with the military of, fighting the rebels and everything, everything's been kind of scatterbrained. Everything is starting to come to black and white again, where there's obviously a very big threat, a big looming threat over the galaxy, which is Cortana and her Guardians. And then we have literally everything and everybody else wanting to kind of get out of that grasp. So that's one thing I don't really like about 343's Halo, Halo 4 and 5, is that things are kind of all over the place. Whereas back in the day, we just knew that there was the Covenant and they were the bad guys and everybody else was the good guys, right? So there wasn't a whole lot of gray, and there wasn't a whole lot of like all these different factions and stuff. So I like how her having these Guardians and her becoming a threat sort of makes everything as a black and white universe again. Of course, there needs to be some gray to balance things out, but nonetheless, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like branching out on so many different topics here. To tie everything together, they're going to be hunting down the Master Chief, right? Cortana is probably going to recruit many civilizations, many factions, many militias, many Prometheans, many Guardians to seek out Master Chief. Why? Because she wants him to be kept safe before she fires the Halo rings, which ultimately would destroy all life and would ruin the Flood's chance at spreading and would eventually kill them, of course. And she could repopulate the universe as the Foreigners once did, and did it from a much more controllable stance. Obviously, when entire civilizations are just reduced to the Stone Age, they're going to be a lot more easy to control, and it's not going to be like huge, gigantic civilizations, systems, and city systems, and all this complicated stuff. It's just going to be very easy to manage and to bring peace back to the galaxy once you kill everything. So Cortana's going to need to hunt down Master Chief, and in the video I recently discussed that maybe she might actually hunt down Dr. Halsey and Agent Locke. I think she, after Halo 5's ending, especially in the dialogue during the gameplay, it seemed like she kind of really grew a hatred towards Agent Locke. And I really like that, because I like that dynamic where Master Chief was sort of seeking out Cortana and stuff. But nonetheless, I think Cortana might actually hunt him down, as well as Dr. Halsey, especially Dr. Halsey. And I don't think she's just going to fire the Halo rings. I think she wants to deal with these, because I sense a lot of ego. I sense a lot of proud and determination with this new logic-plagued Cortana, this new evil version of her. So yeah, it's going to be really cool, because the Act Man and many others, I agree completely, have said that Halo 5 story is such a shame, because they could have done so much good with it, with all the ideas and stuff, that they just kind of fumbled it really badly. And one of my favorite aspects about Halo 5 Guardians, especially during the marketing Hunt the Truth, was that we were going to hunt down the Master Chief. It was such a flip side. It was the UNSC. It seemed that everyone thought he was a villain, with the Hunt the Truth podcast or whatever, the monologue things with Benjamin or whatever. So, yeah, I love that idea of hunting down the Master Chief, and here they have another chance to do that with Cortana basically putting down a bounty, a galaxy-wide bounty for Master Chief, and he somehow got to manage to eliminate Cortana to get rid of her. One thing that I think that I haven't talked about enough, that people haven't mentioned enough or even thought about enough, because it's just so much happens between these, or what happens before and after it, is when Cortana dies at the end of Halo 4. Master Chief runs up to the mini nuke, and he literally detonates a nuclear bomb in front of his face. I mean, he expected to die to save New Phoenix, so I think easily, and that I think would have killed Cortana too. He would have expected that, from what we know about Master Chief John, he is willing to kill himself and kill Cortana for the better good. And so I think that Master Chief might also go on another suicidal adventure to kill Cortana, to stop Cortana. And I think he does want her to come back home, as he said at the end of Halo 5. I think he wants to find a way. If he doesn't have to kill her, he won't. But nonetheless, with him being hunted down by, potential brutes, jackals, drones, there might be a whole militia that is just assigned with basically taking down Master Chief. Now, I don't know how this would work in the gameplay, because, they still got to shoot at Master Chief, right? So, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe I don't think that they're actually going to alter the entire gameplay, but I don't know. So that's just my theory about everything. I don't know how this is a little bit of a plot hole, my theory or whatever. But anyways, if you guys have any thoughts about that, about Cortana sending a galaxy-wide bounty on Master Chief and hunting him down, hunting Agent Lockdown, hunting down maybe even the Arbiter, that would all be very, very interesting. I just want to hear what you guys have to say about all this. I'm sorry I didn't have more ideas about it, and let me know what your thoughts are about the job listings. If you happen to find something very interesting, then be sure to directly message that to me on YouTube or send that to my business email. And anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next time. Peace out. Later.